What's up, guys? I got the pencil here, and welcome to another but slightly different tier list video. So, as you can see in the title, this is the tier list of my opinion on my favorite 10 commandments, and this is kind of a tier list, kind of like a top 13-ish, kind of, because I'm going to be doing all the commandments that are like relevant and have names. So the only one that really won't be mentioned are the two minor ones that are kind of just executed by Meliodas off screen, and the Chimera, who's just the least favorite because he has nothing. So yeah, this is pretty much a top 13, whatever. So let's get into it. Let's go to the first one, Calmadios. I feel like Calmadios had some half-decent potential to be someone cool, but he just never really got the chance to. I don't know, I kind of feel bad for him, but at the same time it's just like, he was there. That's just about all I have to say on him, because he was that irrelevant. He really was that irrelevant. But to get on to my next commandment, yeah, Grey Road is like garbage in every single way, shape, and form. I know I have no way else to say it. Like, there's nothing for me to talk about with this character. Like, the only thing that's good about them is their commandment. I think their commandment's really cool, and it stops right about there. That's all I have when it comes to this commandment. The design is just multiple versions of a gray demon on a mass of darkness. And like, it was cool that Merlin got to show off against them, you know, commandment tier fighter, but they were kind of boring. I don't know. I never really vibed with Grey Road at all. Anything about them was really almost a waste of time in my sense. And the next one may surprise you. Yeah, not this Gowther. We're gonna get to him later. I'm gonna say this Gowther right here. This Gowther, the one that is sort of kind of just there. He's just a kid with his dad, basically, and I don't find this Gowther very interesting. I don't know. I know this leads to like good character development later for him and stuff. He pretty much stays Commandment Gowther until he meets the 7 Deadly Sins. But even still, I don't know. Something about this Gowther, I never really got him, because he was quite literally just a doll in all senses. Like, the scene where he's literally just mimicking actual Gowther is kind of just shows how not a character he was at that point. I think Gowther overall is better, but Commandment Gowther, which is who I'm talking about, he doesn't do it for me. And then next up, pretty simple, is Droll. And you may be wondering, yo, but isn't Droll kind of a half-decent character? And yeah, Droll is kind of a half-decent character, but Droll just doesn't do it for me. And the reason that is because he seemed so cool. He had so much potential for an interesting character. Like, one, he was the only like massive commandment that we saw. Like, you know, Grey Road was tall, not Grey Road. Galen was tall, Fraudrin was big, and he had like full size. But no, this was a giant. So like, the moment you saw the 10 commandments get revealed, you're just like, whoa, we got a titan like monster in the 10 commandments with 4 arms. That's amazing. And then you get his reel at the second fighting festival. He's working alongside Gloxinia, and you think that's really cool. Then he kind of just stops. Like, Droll doesn't have an interesting character, and he plays into his racist stereotype of just wanting to fight. It's not like he wasn't like Gloxinia, who went down just this bloody course of revenge over thousands of years until Zeldris came out and slapped him and made him join the commandments. He was kind of just joined because he wanted more power, and we don't really explore that aspect of him. We know he's changed, obviously, because he trains Diane and works with Gloxinia to train King. So we know that the man's changed, but I don't know what else to really say about that. Like, he's such a flat character, and they try to have a funny moment when he lost his commandment to show he's a little bit more like Diane, but by that point, it was already too late. I didn't really care about Droll, and admittedly, a lot of the pain of Droll and Gloxinia's death came from Gloxinia, because I like Gloxinia way more than I like Droll. And moving on to the next commandment, we're gonna get into, let me see, there we go. we are going to get into actual Gowther. And the reason actual Gowther is as high as he is, at least for me, comes from not the fact that he's an interesting character, really. It's what he did and all the ramifications that has on the story afterwards. Like, modern Taizai would not be the same without actual Gowther, because everything changes because of him. If he didn't cast that spell that rewrote Estarossa as Mael as Estarossa, we wouldn't have this series as it is, and that's honestly a massive thing. And I think that's really, really cool what he did, except he's kind of just a background lore character. Like, we don't get much. We know he's a vindictive man, or like he wants revenge, because that's the reason why he chose Estarossa or Mael to take over, not like Meliodas or Elizabeth or Ludoshel. The reason he specifically chose Estarossa is because Estarossa killed, I'm going to keep saying, flipping between Estarossa and Mael. Mael killed his lover, which is what Dol Gowther is modeled off of. So that's cool. But then we kind of just leave it at that. We don't get much of him interacting with other characters outside of Dol Gowther and like Droll Diane. And he does the one big thing, and then that's kind of it. He kind of just locks down for the rest of the time. He doesn't do anything that is really that interesting to me, and we don't see much of him. He sounds really cool. Like, I'd love to see an entire arc of him training Merlin, but looking since Taizai's about to end soon, doesn't seem like I'm gonna get that. So I don't know. He's cool, but he's not cool enough. In short, yeah. Don't you just love these amazingly well thought out explanations? Well, don't you worry. We're gonna get onto another amazingly well thought out explanation. Now, Melascula is weird, and like, this is not even me like saying it in the, oh, she's like a weird demon. Nah, she's just weird as a character, because she's a snake that got a humanoid form after delving into darkness, and I'm just kind of confused. I'm confused with everything about this character. I like her personality though. I like that she's a drunk. I like a lot of aspects of Melascula. I just don't think that she's particularly intimidating. I think her abilities are cool though. I think the way she uses darkness specifically, like she actually uses it as a cocoon and it always wraps around her as like a boa constrictor would, because it's like she's a snake, stuff like that. I think all that's cool. I think her aesthetic is great. She just doesn't have anything that really makes me like, oh, yep, this character, top tier, a great character and stuff like that. Nothing really does that for me. But you may be confused when I get onto this next character and why I have them so high and why I would rate them higher if they actually had an arc. Bro, I love Galland. Galland, bro, he's fantastic. I love everything about this guy. I love how he's just like a grouchy old man that happens to murder things. Like, he literally shows up. He's the first commandment to get revived, and he's just like, you know what? I want to go stretch my legs. And by stretching his legs, he literally leaps over multiple miles, and it's just a couple strides, pops up in Camelot. It's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna kill all y'all fools, and then does it. Because, like, he just shows up and reveals to everyone that, oh no, the 10 Commandments are no joke. Like, there's a reason they should have stayed sealed, because almost everyone was there, except for King, Ban, and no, I think that's it. King Ban and like Gowther was a doll at that point. So, oh, and Escanor. Okay, so they're missing a lot of sins there, but still, Meliodas, one of the strongest sins we had seen beginning of series, a literal giant in Diane, and Merlin, a powerful sorceress that we saw that was literally saved to the end of the last arc because she was extremely powerful, all got bodied by Diane. I mean, bodied by Galland, and I find that amazing. I just love how he drops in, destroys everything, and just gets tricked and leaves, and then he's ready to go back and get revenge, but then Meliodas pops up and absolutely dominates him. That's great. And then he leads to one of the coolest things ever with Escanor. Like, great character introduction to Escanor. I think Galland all around is great as a character. I wish he had some sort of arc. He kind of just gets murdered by Estarossa, so that's really it for him. I feel bad for Galland. I feel like he should have gotten a bit more, but what are you going to do? Mon Speed. I don't know why I'm putting down Mon Speed, but Mon Speed, I feel like something in me is just like, oh, you should rank Mon Speed higher. But he was kind of always the same character from when he was introduced. Like, he was always just watching over Derriere. We never really see any change with him. Oh, that's cool. I think that's nice enough, like a demon that cares for the people. We had kind of seen that already, in my opinion, done better with something like Fraudrin. So I think Mon Speed's cool. I love how he transforms into the Endura, shows off a really powerful transformation for the Demon Clan. I think all that is cool. Only issue with Mon Speed is that he kind of stays flat. And the fights he does have, while they're cool, like him versus Estarossa was a pretty cool fight, and he showed off like a cool ability with Trickstar and stuff like that. But I don't know. He like, Mon Speed just doesn't do it for me, but he's high enough because of all he did. And pretty much the same thing goes for this next commandment in Derriere, because once again, while she doesn't stay flat, she actually develops and stuff like that. The only thing that really gets me about her character is that she's very oblivious for way too long. By the time she realizes what's actually going on, it's way too late. I love how she, like, avenges, well, technically avenges, she avenges Mon Speed in a way by going and beating down Estarossa for killing him and stuff like that. I like how she learns in the end that she was cared for and loved for and protected by Mon Speed, but basically by the point it occurred, it was already a bit too late. She dies immediately afterwards, stuff like that. Like, she's good, she is good, but in terms of actual interest, nah, I can't really do it with Derriere. I can't talk about her for a while. I think her transformation was cool too. I think all that's great, but I don't know. Derriere once again just doesn't do it for me. And now we're gonna get to some of my favorite characters. Gloxinia. Okay, so you may be wondering, yo, why does Gloxinia rank up so high for you, my guy? It's not that serious, but it is that serious. I love this character. One, not only does he have like a super cool design, like look at that. I even prefer like the page from the manga even better, even with all the colors here. Because just when Gloxinia first shows up, first it's a twist. It's like a really well executed twist that this random demon pops up, and like everyone, we just automatically consider him a demon. You know, he has the demon mark, he's got the black eyes, and we've seen that demons can have multiple hair colors already. Just look at Meliodas. They all don't have to be black-haired monsters or something like that. But then King shows up. Like, we've been having Gloxinia being built up as one of the 10 Commandments. King shows up and just like, wait, First Fairy King, what are you doing amongst the demons? And we're just, at least me, maybe this not was everyone else, but it was just like, oh, that is crazy, dog. And then he just left you wondering, like, yo, what is it that actually got him to go absolutely nuts and start attacking everyone and join the commandments? Because we wanted to reveal that when Meliodas is just like, bro, I know you lost someone important to you, but you joined the 10 Commandments after you were fighting against them for so long, and then that leads you to just be like, what the heck? And why did he switch sides? And then you flash back with him. Then you learn the reason why he did everything was because he thought his sister was murdered by a human. So he literally was going to, he wasn't going to, he pulled a king and just went around killing everyone. And the great thing about it is, even though it's not shown to us, so I think it would have been a really cool fight to see. No, well, not really. It does show the body though. But I love the idea that Zeldris kind of forced Gloxinia to take a deep breath and calm down. Because, like, the reason I don't vibe with Droll so much is because Droll immediately relented. That's what's implied. Like, he wasn't really fighting. He was about to fight Zeldris, but then Zeldris was just like, no. And then that was it. So, I like the idea that Gloxinia was just rampaging around, got all this anger out, went and just accidentally was coerced into becoming a 10 Commandment. and then he just lived with it, and then he feels guilty, and that's why he trains King and Diane. That's why he sends them back to the past to learn everything and stuff like that. I think that's great. I feel like Luxenia has great development. I think he's an amazing character to watch, and he's just cool. Like, I like my King and Luxenia with their spirit spears are just amazingly diverse with their possible movesets and stuff like that. I think the design works really well. Luxenia, easily one of my favorite commandments. But let's get into wait for it. Ten Commandments. Now this Meliodas is up so high because he pulled the most massive of heel turns on the commandments, and I love it because he was like an inspiration to all other demons. Like, he was just like, yeah, if you want to be a demon, you want to be a Meliodas. You want to be the most powerful, most ruthless. I'm out killing everybody. You want to be that. And and despite rarely seeing him fight as the leader of the Ten Commandments, you just know Meliodas was about it. Like, Meliodas lived that thug life. He was out killing everyone, and you just know, because everyone feared him. Even when he switched sides, an archangel, quite literally the strongest one with the exception of Mael, an archangel in his true body, who was shown to be superior to beings like the original demon, was just like, actually, you know what? Nah, you two, Tarmiel, Sariel, hop up with me. We have to jump base demon, basically base demon Mark Meliodas. This wasn't no assault mode. This wasn't no like high level demon Mark. This was just base demon Mark Meliodas. Lucia was afraid to fight. And he inspired a mistreated Zeldris, which led to Zeldris' amazing character arc. In his fake memories, he ended up twisting Estarossa, and that led to Estarossa's great character arc. Ten Commandment Meliodas is really, really cool. And especially in comparison to his other sin turn commandment, or commandment turn sin counterpart, Gother, Dol Gother, I think this Meliodas is just way, way better and way cooler. And now I got to get into our boy Estarossa. Now, Estarossa is kind of wild, and the reason he's not higher, and you may be shocked why he isn't higher, is because when I kind of cut Estarossa off once he realizes he's Mael. If I included it all, Estarossa would probably be higher. But since I'm just focusing on commandment versions of the characters, Estarossa came out, saved all the commandments' lives, then got slapped by Escanor. Then woke up immediately only to be thrown into another mission, and in that mission is to collect the commandments. And then he slaughters Galen in cold blood, and it doesn't even ask him to like, hey, just give me your commandment real quick. He's just like, nah, I'm gonna kill you real quick right now. He doesn't. Then he turns around, starts absorbing multiple commandments, attacks Dariarium on speed, takes their commandments, then goes on to fight everyone. Like, Estarossa became the Escanor of like the series for a moment when he just wanted all smoke. He just ran around and was just like, you know, I'm fighting anybody and everybody. And then he was just like, you know what, Elizabeth, you kind of cute. I'm gonna snatch you up real quick. And I just find it great. I think Estarossa, like the mad lad that he became, is such an interesting shift from like the calm, seemingly like not emotional or something like that, but just disemotional fight that we got initially with him against Escanor. It seemed like it was such a character flip, but you could almost see it, that he was like repressing something throughout because he didn't want to accidentally trigger his own commandment, didn't let too many emotions flow through him. And I just find that cool. And then we got the man, the demon, the legend himself, Ugly Man. Okay, now you may be wondering, why is he so high? He sucks. He killed Liz. What are you doing? I got the pencil, and I say you're right, but I find him fantastic, mainly for the fact that he was infected with humanity, and there's a good picture to display it. He was infected by the humanity of raising a child of his own. living amongst the humans for so long. And the longer you stay on my channel and the more videos I upload, you're gonna find out I like characters who are infected by, whether it be by possession or just living with a certain group of people. And the way he goes from, I am a heartless Ten Commandment member, I'm gonna kill anything and everything, to being stopped by their shared son just running to me like, please don't destroy All Britannia, please, could you not? And Frogman's just like, I'm really about to do this, you know what? And he stops. He does not self-detonate, and then he just walks over to Meliodas, just like, bro, just get rid of me. I can't be happy anymore. I can't fulfill my purpose as a Ten Commandment. It's too late for me to go back into Dreyfus and just act like I'm him again. Just please end me. And then he dies in like the most violent way possible. Like Meliodas just punches through him with no remorse. And it's amazing for how simple and sad it is that usually like these two quite literally flip roles in a way I've seen very few times before, where Meliodas became the heartless monster of a commandment or demon that ends up killing everything in its path without regard for anything else, and Fraudrin became the human man that couldn't kill his own son. That's great. I think it's great. But to get to my favorite commandment, this boy, man, I feel bad for Zeldris. Like, is it just me? I hope it isn't just me. I love Zeldris. I think Zeldris is great. Not only are all his abilities cool, not only is every single fight he partakes in amazing, not only does he have such amazing character depth as a person who really wanted to be loved and have affection from his brother, but he was forced into a role of subjugation because neither his father nor his brother really supported that other stuff, that love and affection nonsense. The fact that he just goes all in just because he's just following his big brother and his dad's lead, and then he's forced by Meliodas, who abandons him. He's forced to take up the leader of the Ten Commandments, even though he doesn't want to. He just wants to live with Gelda. He basically wants the same thing Meliodas wants, except he couldn't run away because Meliodas beat him to it, and Meliodas is the older brother, so he had to take up the mantle of future Demon King because he was afraid of not only his brother but his father. And he has to do so much stuff just to make sure that he isn't accidentally killed or something like that. Zeldris is amazing. And so Zeldris is getting his own video. He just has to get his own video. Like, I can't sit down here and talk about Zeldris in a short burst. So yeah, that's basically my tier list for the Ten Commandments. If I had a group, I'd say like the top 3 commandments I talk about, they'd be up in perfection. The medium, the like 2 I was talking about, like Galaxinia and person who came before Galaxinia, because I already forgot because I'm terrible. They go up in great, then good for the next 2, okay, blah blah blah, and then why do you exist for the bottom couple. So yeah, if I missed someone, whoops. Well, that just shows they didn't leave much of an impact on me if I missed them, so I don't even really mind. But yeah, this is my opinion on the 10 Commandments from 7 Deadly Sins. I rank them character-wise in order. Probably going to go in depth on a few of them because I find some of them way more interesting. Would like to dedicate a whole lot more time to them, but just not right now. So, in short, this is that guy with a pencil, writing off.